A very warm welcome to each of you who's here today for our very first program of this year, 2025. Margari music season in Chennai has just concluded, and we all know that it's one of the greatest music festivals anywhere in the world. And so also Tyagaraja Aradhana has just concluded. So what better way to start this year than with music that's so intrinsic with our heritage and interwoven with every aspect of our lives. A special welcome to the speakers this evening, Shri Shriramkumar, Amrita Murli, and Shri Arun Prakash, and the youngsters on the tambura and the tech. Dhanush and Nandita. Welcome to all of you, and thank you for being here and sparing your valuable time to share your knowledge with our members and friends. A very big thanks to Ashwita for being the gracious host again for us. For those of you who know INTAC, it may be redundant, but for those who don't, just a brief introduction. INTAC is an acronym for the Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage. And I'm delighted to share that having been founded in 1984, we have just completed 40 years. Thank you. So, INTAC was set up with a mission to conserve heritage, and it is based on the belief that living in harmony with heritage enhances quality of life. It is stated in the Constitution of India, Article 51A, which I quote, that it shall be the duty of every citizen of India to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. The key word here is composite and reflects the rich and diverse culture that we have in India. INTAC endeavors to achieve its vision by sensitizing the public and creating awareness about the pluralistic cultural legacy of India, protecting and preserving India's built heritage, natural heritage, living heritage, both tangible and intangible heritage, documenting unprotected heritage, developing heritage policies, providing expertise in the field of conservation, encouraging capacity building through skills training programs, undertaking emergency response measures during man-made and natural disasters like earthquakes, and importantly, forming heritage clubs in schools and through heritage education, inculcating in children a sense of pride and concern for our heritage. I'd also like to share that we're having on February 1st an inter-school quiz competition that will go on to becoming a national level competition. The winners will go on to participating at the national level, and those who have any contact with any schools, please let us know and register for the same. INTAC has over 200 chapters nationwide, and we have all been working only through the passion and strength of volunteers across the nation and across the chapters. INTAC takes its vision forward thus. At Chennai chapter, we have through talks, programs and initiatives been creating awareness about the significance of our heritage. Do join hands with us at INTAC Chennai chapter to save and protect our heritage. We are here to answer your queries. There's a desk right there in the lobby, and if any of you wish to become members also, please do so. Today's presentation by Shriramkumar and team focuses on the temples visited by all of the Trinity and where they created special musical offerings. The Trinity of Carnatic music, as you all know, were the three great composers of the 18th century. Shyama Shastri, 1762 to 1827. Tyagaraja, 1767 to 1847. And Muthuswami Dikshitar, 1775 to 1835. Each of them visited temples on their pilgrimages and created musical compositions on the deities. Our speakers today will take us through the temples that all three of them chose to visit. I have the pleasure of introducing the speakers of this evening. Shri R.K. Shriramkumar hails from a family with a glorious musical tradition. He received violin and vocal training from his renowned grandfather, Shri R.K. Venkatarama Shastri. His initial lessons were from Smt Savitri Satyamurthy and later from ShriV V Subrahmanyam. He continued learning vocal music under Sangita Kalanidhi, Shri D K Jayaraman. Shri Shriramkumar accompanied legends of Carnatic music like Shri Semmangudi Srinivasa Iyer, Smt M S Subbulakshmi, Smt DK Pattammal, and Shri D K Jayaraman, to name a few. Shriramkumar's discography includes, apart from his solo recordings, his violin accompaniment with reputed artists, and has had the great opportunity of participating in a unique recording featuring the veterans Shri Semmangudi Srinivasa Iyer and Smt M S Subbulakshmi, titled Divine Unison. Shri Shriramkumar is a recipient of many awards and titles. He has set music for many a lyric as well as for dance productions and has created his own musical compositions. Shriramkumar's solo performances, lectures and workshops have drawn accolades from audiences worldwide, and I'm sure today is no exception. Amrita Murli is an accomplished vocalist and violinist. She's been under the tutelage of great musicians, including Vidvan P.S. Narayan Swami, and is currently Shri R.K. Shriramkumar's student. K. Arun Prakash is a renowned mridangist, celebrated for his intricate artistry and emotive style. He continues to uphold and enrich the traditions of Carnatic percussion. We look forward to this amazing journey through the temples that the Trinity visited. Thank you, and over to you.
सद्गुरु गजास्य वाणी चरणयुगाम्भोरुहेषु मधृदयम् सततं द्विरेफलीलां करुणामकरन्द लिप्सया तनुता श्रीगणनाथं भज रे चित्तपराशक्तियुतं श्रीगणनाथं भज रे चित्तपराशक्तियुतं श्रीगणनाथं भज रे चित्तपराशक्तियुतं श्री गणनाथं भज रे नागयज्ञसूत्रधरं नादलयानन्दकरं नागयज्ञसूत्रधरं नादलयानन्दकरं श्री गणनाथं भज रे चित्तपराशक्तियुतं श्री गणनाथं भज रे आगमादिसन्नुतम् अखिलदेवपूजितम् आगमादिसन्नुतम् अखिलदेवपूजितं भोगशाली भावितं भोगिशयि सेवितं भोगशाली भावितं भोगिशयि सेवितं रागद्वेषादिरहितरमणीयहृदयविदितं श्रीगुरुसंमुदितं चिन्मूलकमलस्थितं रागद्वेषादिरहितरमणीयहृदयविदितं श्रीगुरुसंमुदितं चिन्मूलकमलस्थितं श्री गणनाथं भज रे चित्तपराशक्तियुतं श्री गणनाथं भज रे
Namaskarams and good evening to all of you. It is such an honor and pleasure to do this presentation for this wonderful organization that is doing such great work. And I thank Srimati Sujata Shankar in particular for having all of us over here. As we all know, the land of the Deccan is dotted with beautiful and great temples and kshetras, and most of them have been adorned with literary, poetic and musical offerings from great saints, great composers, great bhagyakaras, great bhaktas. This evening, we will take a bird's eye view on the temples that have been visited and where the illustrious Trinity of Carnatic music, Sri Tyagaraja Swami, Sri Shyama Shastri and Sri Muthuswami Dikshitar have offered their musical creations and musical outpourings. In the temple town of Tiruvarur or Kamalalaya, we have the wonderful temple of Sri Tyagaraja that you see here. Tyagaraja, Lord Shiva, goes by the name Tyagaraja here. And the temple is a marvel, and that's an understatement actually. the Tyagaraja temple is a very, very famous Shiva Kshetra, and it is said that when one is born in Thiruvarur or Kamalalaya, one attains mukti. So Jananath Kamalalaye, when one has the darshana of the Lord at Chidambaram, the person attains mukti. Darshanat abhrasadasi. When one sheds his mortal coil at Kashi, attains mukti. Kashyantu maranan muktihi. And when one thinks of Arunachala, attains mukti. Smaranat Arunachale. And in this great town of Thiruvarur, which is dedicated to Lord Shiva as Tyagaraja, Nilotpalamba, the goddess, and the famous goddess Kamalambika, who is in penance. In this temple town were born the illustrious Trinity of Carnatic music, Shri Tyagaraja, Shri Shyama Shastri, and Shri Muthuswami Dikshitar. Shyama Shastri was the eldest of the Trinity, was born in 1762. Tyagaraja was born in 1767, and Muthuswami Dikshitar was born in 1775. The contribution of the Trinity stands unparalleled even to this day. And it's not like Carnatic music did not exist before the Trinity. Of course, it has existed before the Trinity. And why is the contribution of the Trinity so important? It's because these great Mahans gave to us, brought with them the glory of the past, coupled with the creativity of their own, the brilliant genius of their own, and through their compositions, they gave us a wonderful wealth of Sangita and Sahitya. And amongst the Trinity, as all of you know, Muthuswami Dikshitar was the most travelled. He was the travel man. And he had travelled quite a number of places and has given for posterity such beautiful compositions. And the compositions are by themselves a beautiful travelogue or beautiful travel guide. These compositions carry with them the greatness of the Kshetra, the greatness of the deity, the Sthala Purana, the stories and anecdotes associated with the Kshetra, everything. And Muthuswami Dikshitar, having born in Thiruvarur, he travelled all over the place, all over the south, and most of his compositions are dedicated to Tyagaraja in Thiruvarur and all the other deities in the Thiruvarur temple complex. And he spent his final days at Ettaipuram. But Shyama Shastri and Tyagaraja did not travel too much. Though they did undertake some pilgrimages, they did not travel too much. Shyama Shastri was born in Thiruvarur, and later the family moved to Thanjavur, and Shyama Shastri settled there in worship of Bangaru Kamakshi, about whom we will talk later. And Shyama Shastri's compositions are mostly dedicated to Kamakshi, except for a few exceptions. And he travelled to Madurai, to Pudukkottai, and he dedicated compositions to Meenakshi, to Akhilandeshwari in Thiruvanekaval, to Brihadamba in Pudukkottai, to Brihannayaki in Thanjavur, and to Dharma Samvardhini. And like this, he probably visited a very few kshetras. Tyagaraja Swami again moved from Thiruvarur to Thiruvaiyuru, and he spent all his life in Thiruvaiyuru. And at his ripe old age, he undertook a pilgrimage. And even that pilgrimage was on the invitation of a very great saint called Upanishad Brahman, who was the classmate of his father, Rama Brahman. And on the invitation of Sri Upanishad Brahman from Kanchipuram, Sri Tyagaraja undertook this pilgrimage, and he went to kshetras like Shrirangam, to Lalgudi, and he came to Madras where his beloved disciple Veena Kuppaiah was residing. And he went to Kovur, to Tiruvattriyur, and to Kanchipuram as well, and to Tirupati, and that's it. And he went back to Tiruvayur. So these are the, so if you look at the compositions, there are just 4 kshetras where all of the Trinity have offered their musical outpourings. We will look at those 4 kshetras today. As I said, Tyagaraja took up this pilgrimage. Is the screen visible, or do you want the light to be dimmed? It's okay? Yeah. We will first go to Kanchipuram. Upanishad Brahman had also interacted, had also met Sri Muthuswami Dikshitar, and Sri Muthuswami Dikshitar spent quite a number of years, a few years in Kanchipuram, and he in fact tuned the Ramashtapadi of Sri Upanishad Brahman. Unfortunately, the tune is lost now, and so connection of Kamakshi with the Trinity is very special. Shyama Shastri's family, Shyama Shastri belonged to the family of Archakas of the Kamakshi temple. These Archakas are hereditary Archakas, and they come from a very long lineage. In fact, it is said that Adi Shankara Bhagavad brought these group of Archakas specially to conduct the worship of Kamakshi at Kanchipuram. And Kamakshi, the Kshetra, Kanchipuram is a very, very hallowed Kshetra. It is very important for the Shaktas or Shakti worshippers. It is very important for the Shaivas. It is very important for the Vaishnavas. And you had other faiths also that flourished in Kanchipuram. And Kanchi has a very long cultural history. And in the Kamakshi temple, as I said, Shyama Shastri belonged to the family of Archakas. And at one point of time, due to Muslim invasions, these Archakas moved to safer places. They moved around the 16th century. They moved and they went all around for 200 years. They went to different places. They settled in Tiruvarur, where Shyama Shastri was born. Later, because it was under the Maratha rule, and later the family moved to Tanjavur because the Maratha king Tulaja built a temple for Bangaru Kamakshi. Bangaru Kamakshi is the idol that is made of gold from head to toe. And this idol of Bangaru Kamakshi was in Kanchipuram, and they had to save it during the times of invasions. So they took the idol of Bangaru Kamakshi with them, and actually, like, they had to say all sorts of lies and they had to cover up the goddess in all sorts of ways possible, and they had to take her to the safe place. And they ultimately, Tulaja built a temple for Bangaru Kamakshi at Tanjavur, and Shyama Shastri was the Archaka of Bangaru Kamakshi in Tanjavur. And so coming back to Kanchipuram, as I said, the temple is a very beautiful temple with wonderful, all these temples are such wonderful temples with such great architecture, and contributions from every dynasty, Cholas, the Pallavas, the Vijayanagara kings, and um, so the very interesting thing about Kamakshi is, legend has it that Kamakshi is the only Shakti shrine for all the Shiva temples in Kanchipuram. Because since Shiva burnt Manmatha, her foremost devotee, and it is said that she withdrew into her Bilakasha, there are many legends, many anecdotes connected with this great goddess. We will not have time to cover all of that, except that this kshetra goes by the name Shivajit Kshetra, as the one who won over Shiva. So all the Shiva temples in Kanchipuram do not have a Shakti shrine. And Kamakshi is the only Shakti shrine for all the Shiva temples in Kanchipuram. And she goes by the name Kamakshi because she has Ka and Ma as her eyes. Ka meaning Saraswati, Ma meaning Lakshmi, and Akshi means the eyes. One who has Saraswati and Lakshmi as her eyes. And the Sahasranama says, Sachamara Ramavani Savvidakshina Sevita. So Kamakshi, the iconic, the representation of Kamakshi is of Lalita Mahatripura Sundari. She holds the Pasha, the Ankusha, the sugarcane bow, and the arrows of flowers in her right hand. And this is a very beautiful temple, and we have many compositions to cover. So I will not be going into the details of the architecture or the history of the temple per se, and you can see on the screen some beautiful photographs which are thankfully available on the internet, and I thank all those photographers and who have taken these beautiful photographs and put them up. And so it's an architectural marvel. Every temple by itself are architectural marvels, and as Sujata rightly said, it's our foremost duty to preserve these beautiful temples, to preserve the architecture, and especially when you see, you will see a lot of mural paintings in the slides that are to follow, and it's very disheartening when they just scribble their names and all sorts of things on all the murals and all the walls of these temples. And I really wish and hope we take pride and we take such pride in our wealth that this great land has given us. So this is the Gopuram this is the golden Vimana of Shri Kamakshi. As you see, she is also depicted in the Vimana, and this is a golden Vimana of the Kamakshi temple. And we have compositions of Tyagaraja. We have one composition of Tyagaraja dedicated to Kamakshi. We have several compositions of Dikshitar and Shyama Shastri dedicated to Kamakshi. And this great goddess, as you see, she holds the Pasha, Ankusha, and she holds the sugarcane bow, and she holds the Ikshachapa, or Pushpabana, or the flower arrows in her right hand. And this is the iconography of Lalita as well. And Kamakshi is the only goddess, a goddess in temple that represents the iconography of Lalita Mahatripura Sundari. And this kshetra has been visited by Adi Shankara as well. And Kamakshi is also reputed for her divine anugrahas and leelas, one of which is very important. She blessed a dumb devotee by name Mooka Kavi. He goes by the name Mooka Kavi because he became a great Kavi later. And Shyama Shastri, Sri Kamakshi's blessings was in full bloom for this devotee, and he became a great poet. So Tyagaraja Swami mentions this incident, or he mentions this great devotee in this composition. And the whole land of Tondai Mandalam, as it is called, is the worship of Ganesha was supposed to be very special to the land of the Tondai Mandalam, it is said. So Tyagaraja probably was inspired by that, and he begins his composition on Kamakshi with Ganesha's word, Ganesha's name, and he says, Vinayakuni Valanu Brovave. He requests the goddess to protect him like she protects Ganesha. So this kriti is in the raga Madhyamavati, and it has multiple charanams. It has 3 charanams. And in the last charanam, Tyagaraja refers to Sri Kamakshi as the one who blessed this great devotee who became the author of such a beautiful poem called the Moka Panchashati, which is a work of 500 verses divided into 5 shatakams each, of 100 shlokas of 5 shatakams each: Arya Shatakam, Padaravinda Shatakam, Stuti Shatakam, Mandaspita Shatakam, and Kataksha Shatakam. And the Mukha Panchashati has inspired other great saints also, and that is Kamakshi for you. And during the composition, you can witness the splendor of the temple as well, and of all its gopurams and its vimanas. And this kriti is the raga Madhyamavati. Vinayakuni Valanu Brovave.
Vinayakuni Valanu Brovave Ninu Vinavel Pulevaram Vinayakuni Valanu Brovave Ninu Vinavel Pulevaram Vinayakuni Valanu Vinayakuni Valanu Brovave ದಿ ದೇವತಲು ಇಡಿನಿ ಜದರದುದಯ ಜೋಡರದ ಕಾಂಚಿ ಪುರಾರಿ ಗಾಯಕಿ ವಿನಾಯಕುನಿ ವನನು ರೂಪವೇ ಪುರಾಣ ದಯ ಚೇದಿರಲು ಕೋನಿಕಿರ ಜೇಸಿ ಬ್ರೋಚುರಾಜ ಧರಿ ಪುರಾಣ ದಯ ಚೇದಿರಲು ಕೋನಿಕಿರ ಜೇಸಿ ಬ್ರೋಚುರಾಜ ಧರಿ ತ್ಯಾಗರ ಜುನಿರದಯ ಸರೋಜವಾಸಿನಿ ಪುರಾರಿ ಸೋದರಿ ಪರಾಶಕ್ತಿ ನನು ವಿರಾಯಕುನಿ ಬಲನ ಪ್ರೋವಪೇನಿನ್ನು ವಿನವೇಲ್ ಪುಲವರಂ ವಿನಾಯಕುನಿ ಬಲನ ಪ್ರೋವಪೇನಿನ್ನು ವಿನವೇಲ್ ಪುಲವರಂ
As I said, the Kshetra of Kanchipuram is very special because it said Nagareshu Kanchi. Pushpeshu Jati, Nagareshu Kanchi. And it is also a Shakti Pitha, it's called the Nabhisthana. And as I said, Kamakshi represents Lalita Mahatripura Sundari. This is Lalita Mahatripura Sundari, and she is flanked by Rama and Vani, or Lakshmi and Saraswati on either sides. And so Dikshitar has composed many compositions on Shri Kamakshi. A very interesting fact is he has composed Kanjadala Idakshi, a very famous composition. And the raga for this composition in the Dikshita school is Manohari. But the raga is popularly known as Kamala Manohari. Dikshitar in the Kriti brings in the raga name as Kamala Manohari. The very word Kamala Manohari means one who is dear to Kamala or Lakshmi. Since Kamakshi is Ka-ma-akshi, one who has Rama and Vani, one who is dear to both Rama and Vani. Sachamara Rama Vani Savya Dakshina Sevita. So one Kriti is in the Raga Manohari as in Kamala Manohari. He has another composition in the Raga Saraswati Manohari because she is dear to Saraswati as well. And amongst the many compositions that Dikshitar has offered to Kamakshi, he brings in this Sachamara Ramavani Savya Dakshina Sevita. He brings in this concept very beautifully in the evergreen Kriti in the Raga Hindolam. Neerajakshi Kamakshi. We will present Neerajakshi Kamakshi and we will precede that Kriti with a shlokam from the Moka Panchashati as well. Raga Hindolam, where Dikshitar says Sharada Rama Nayane in this composition.
காஞ்சிபுர மணிவிபஞ்சி குவணத்காஞ்சி காஞ்சிபுரமணி விபஞ்சி லயझरी शिरः कम्पा कम्पा वसतिरनुकम्पा जलनिधि घनश्यामा श्यामा कठिन कुछ सीमा मनसि में मृगाक्षी कामाक्षी कामाक्षी हर नटन साक्षी विहरतात मृगाक्षी कामाक्षी हर नटन साक्षी विहरता नीरजाक्षी कामाक्षी चिकुरे त्रिपुरे नीरजाक्षी कामाक्षी चिकुरे त्रिपुरे नीरजाक्षी कामाक्षी चिकुरे शारदा
The splendor of the music of these compositions, it's a ocean by itself, and I'm not even getting into it now. As I said, Shyama Shastri belonged to the family of Archakas, of hereditary Archakas of Shri Kamakshi, and these are all sculptures on the walls of Shri Kamakshi temple. As I said, the family of Shyama Shastri moved to Tiruvarur, then settled down at Tanjavur later, and with them came Bangaru Kamakshi, who was in Kanchipuram, and Tulaja built a separate temple for her on the West Main Street in Tanjavur. Even today, we can have darshana of Shri Bangaru Kamakshi, and this is a painting by Shilpi of Shri Bangaru Kamakshi. And this is a solid gold vigraham, and Bangaru means gold in Telugu, and they had to protect this vigraha and safely bring her to Tanjavur, and most of Shyama Shastri's compositions are dedicated to Kamakshi and to Bangaru Kamakshi, and his colossal three Swarajatis, the Bhairavi Swarajati, the Yadukula Kambhoji Swarajati, and the Thodi Swarajati, which are musical marvels, and not to talk of his other compositions as well. But this is a very special composition that we are rendering today, and it's a very famous composition, and this composition has a story to it. There are accounts of whether it happened or it did not happen, all of that. The story is, when the Tanjavur court was challenged by a musician called Babili Keshavaya, none of the musicians in Tanjavur were ready to face the contest, and the king was very worried, and he approached Shri Shyama Shastri to save the situation, and it is at this point that he offered this composition as a prayer to Kamakshi. And in this composition he says, "You have to come and protect me now and not tomorrow. I will not take it if you delay your blessing. It has to come now. Repu maapani chappite ne vinanu." So he says in this composition, and he faces Babili Keshavaya and defeats him by singing a Pallavi in Sharabharandanatala, and that is the story. And there are other accounts where they say that this story did not happen, but nevertheless, we have such a beautiful masterpiece in a raga that was probably Sri Shyama Shastri's creation itself, and probably the only composition in this raga as far as to my limited knowledge, and the very famous composition in the raga Chintamani.
कल्याणी एकाम्रेश्वरी प्रियभामयी युल्लनी एकाम्रेश्वरुनि प्रियभामयी युल्लनीके मम्मा यल्तो भरमा नीके मम्मा यल्तो भरमा विनुमा तल्ली देवी गो समय రేపు మాపని చేపితేనే వినను ఇక తాళను నేను రేపు మాపని చేపితేనే వినను ఇక తాళను నేను ఈ ప్రొద్దు దయసేయవే కృపజూడవే నీ పాదాబ్జములే మదిలో సదా ఎల్లచి నీ జమునే మదిలో సదా ఎంచి నీ ప్రాణుకోరి ముదము తుమ తల్లి దేవి భోవ సమయ శ్యామ కృష్ణుని సోదరి గౌరీ శ్యామ కృష్ణుని సోదరి కౌమారి బింబాధరి గౌరీ హేమా పాగి ఇలలితే పరదేవత కామాక్షి నిన్ను వినా భూమిలో ప్రేమతో కామాక్షి
There is more, much more at Shri Kamakshi's shrine. We will take her blessings and move to Chinna Kanchipuram to the shrine of Varadaraja Perumal. In Vaishnavite parlance, the very word Kovil means Shrirangam. The word Malai means Thirumalai, Thiruvenkatamudiyan. The word Perumal Kovil means Varadaraja Perumal. You must have heard of this famous shlokam. Shriranga Mangalanidhim Karunanivasam Shri Venkatadri Shikharalaya Kalamegham Shrihasti Shaila Shikharojvala Parijadam Shrisham Namami Shirasa Yadushaila Deepam. This shloka represents the four important Vaishnavite kshetras: Shrirangam, Thiruvenkatam, Tirukkachi, Varadaraja Perumal, and Tirunarayanapuram Melkotte. And again, this is a very, very kshetra of yore, and you have so many compositions dedicated to Varadaraja. And again, all of these dynasties have contributed so much to this temple. And the Lord here sports the Shankha and Chakra on his upper hands, and the Abhaya Hasta in his right hand, and the Gada on his left hand. The goddess is Perandevi Tayar. And Varadaraja, this place is also known as Attiyur. And you have the pashrams of Buddhatalvar, Peyalvar, and Tirumangayalvar. And you have the works of Sri Ramanuja, Sri Vedanta Deshika, and most importantly, Tirukkachi who did great service to the Lord by fanning him daily to provide him cool air. And Vedanta Deshika's works are the Adaikalapattu and the Varadaraja Panchashat are all very well known compositions. And the whole temple is breathtaking with such sculptures, and the contribution of the Vijayanagara Empire and Krishnadevaraya in particular, the imposing Gopuram that we see as we enter the temple is all by him. And like in the Vijayanagara style, there's a huge Kalyana Mandapam where you find all these pillars which depict the various avatars and various anecdotes of Vishnu's. You have Narasimha, you have Lakshmi Narayana there, you have Varadaraja there, and you have so all these intricate pillars are in the beautiful Kalyana Mandapam that we see. This is a beautiful Kalyana Mandapam. With, this is a typical Vijayanagara style with the horsemen on the horses and like that. And if you see, you have to go and see it in Kanchipuram to believe how one can create poetry in stone like this. This is more than art. And these rings that you see, they are all rings made of stone and carved out of a single stone. It is not, they are not, you cannot stick them and put them in like that. It's all carved out of stone, and these are all such engineering marvels, these are all such artistic marvels that we see in the Varadaraja temple. And this is the tank Ananta Saras, and below the yellow, the that small mandapam inside. Below the mandapam is this Vigraha, is the idol made of wood, is the Atti Varadar, who comes out every 40 years, and he was there recently. And this Vigraha is said to be the original Vigraha, and then it was replaced by the granite imposing Vigraha that we see today. And this Vigraha is kept very safely in a casket and is kept underwater in that tank there. And this is the Atti Varadar. And Atti also refers to the Udumbra Vriksha, which is very special to Lord Vishnu. And this Kshetra has many festivals, and it is connected with many stories and anecdotes from the Puranas. And this is the Utsavamurthy of the Lord, and this Vigraha is supposed to be this Vigraha that we see of Varadaraja there is supposed to have emerged out of the sacrifice that Brahma did. And the sacrifice that Brahma did was it had too many obstacles, because he left Saraswati. He did not include Saraswati in his yagas. So Saraswati was very enraged about this, and she created a lot of problems. But ultimately, Brahma did complete his sacrifice, and out of that sacrifice was born this Varadaraja. And you see there are black spots on his face, and it is said that it is so because the idol emerged out of fire. And this is Varadaraja, and along with his concerts and his Perandevi Thayar. And this is the imposing Gopuram built by Krishnadevaraya. And these are all architectural marvels. This is inside as you enter the temple inside. And this is a very interesting inscription. This is an inscription by Krishnadevaraya. And it says that he has donated 3,000 panam, not rupees and all, panam, and the kalatha panam, 3,000 panam. For what? For the Nevedya of Dosai to Varadaraja Perumal. And all of the detail is here. And with that 3,000 panam, it has to be, they had to procure land, or then the rice and the ulandu and all the things connected with it to making of a dosai. And every day 51 doses were offered to Varadaraja Perumal, and this was informed to the cook as well. So this inscription is called the dosai inscription in Varadaraja Perumal Sannidhi. And these are all the beautiful mural paintings that you see there. Slow. These are all, unfortunately, really hope they will all be spruced up and they will all come alive again, because you don't get these colors. Actually, one of the colors that are used in these paintings, it is called Indian yellow. And that pigment is procured by feeding the cow a lot of mango leaves, and it is made out of the cow's urine. And it is in fact, at one point of time, it was so difficult to get. Even it is reported that Van Gogh had a very difficult time in getting this Indian yellow, this shade. And it was extremely expensive, and now I don't know if there are substitutes for that. So Indian yellow has been used a lot in these, in all of these paintings as well. Yeah, and this is the painting of the most famous festival, the festival that is synonymous with Varadaraja Perumal temple in Kanchipuram, the Garuda Seva. The Garuda Seva happens on Vaikashi Vishakam, the month of Vaikashi. It is on the third day of the Brahmotsavam. and it is a wonderful spectacle. The Garuda Seva happens in all Vishnu temples, but the Garuda Seva in Kanchipuram, in Varadaraja Perumal temple is extremely special. This is the super Garuda on which the Lord is seated, and every piece of poetry, every piece of work that is dedicated to Varadaraja talks about the Garuda Seva. No wonder Tyagaraja Swami in his composition also talks about the Garuda Seva. But before that, there is an interesting composition by Shyama Shastri. It is a Varnam dedicated to Varadaraja. It is a very long Varnam. We will just present the, it is a Attathala Varnam. It is a Shringara Varnam, and we will just present the first half of the Varnam due to paucity of time, where you will hear the name of Kanchi Varadaraja. Ananda Bhairavi, Khanda Attathala. Composition of Sri Shyama Shastri. Shyama Shastri composed many different compositional forms that included Geetams, Varnams, and Kritis and Swarajatis. This is one of his Varnams dedicated to Varadaraja in Kanchipuram.
முதல்ல சரியா இருந்தது.
முதல்ல சரியா அப்படியே ஒரு வாங்கி மதுரவை போர் முதல்ல
சா மீ நீ ரம் வேள
We will present a very rare kriti of Shri Tyagaraja in a very rare ragam. And as in other compositions, Tyagaraja also talks about the wonderful Garuda Seva at Kanchipuram. This is in Raga Swarabhushi.
ವರಗಿರಿ ವೈಕುಂಠಮಠ ವನಿಂಪತರ ಮುಗದಟ ವರಗಿರಿ ವೈಕುಂಠಮಠ ವನಿಂಪತರ ಮುಗದಟ ಜರುಳನು ತಾರಕ ಮುನಲು ಚಂದ್ರುಡೈ ಮೇರೆಯುಮಟ ಜರುಳನು ತಾರಕ ಮುನಲು ಚಂದ್ರುಡೈ ಮೇರೆಯುಮಟ ವರತ್ಯಾಗರಾಜನುತ ವರತ್ಯಾಗರಾಜನುತ ಗರುಡ ಸೇವ ಜೂಡ ವರತ್ಯಾಗರಾಜನುತ ಗರುಡ ಸೇವ ಜೂಡ ವರದರಾಜನಿನ್ನು ಕೋರಿ ವಚಿತಿ ಮೃಗೇರ ವರದರಾಜನಿನ್ನು ಕೋರಿ ವಚಿತಿ ಮೃಗೇರ.
Muthuswami Dikshitar composed compositions to showcase the Raganga Raga scheme, the raga scheme that Dikshitar followed. And this kshetra is also known for his very dear devotee Doddacharya from Sholingapuram. A very interesting story about Doddacharya is he was a very great devotee of Varadaraja, and every Utsavam he would come all the way from Sholingapuram and have darshan of Varadaraja Perumal at Kanchipuram on the Garuda Seva. And subsequently he became very old and he couldn't move out of Sholingapuram. So on the banks of the tank in Sholingapuram he prayed to Lord Varadaraja, and it is said that Varadaraja Perumal, once he came out of the Sanctum Sanctorum for the Garuda Seva, he instructed his people to stop there because he had to rush to Sholingapuram to give darshanam to Doddacharya. And Doddacharya dedicates the Varadaraja Panchakam, a set of 5 shlokams, very beautiful shlokams describing the Garuda Seva. And this Seva is remembered even today. When the Lord comes out on the Garuda Seva day, the Lord at the entrance is covered by the umbrellas, the two umbrellas that you see on either sides. He is covered by these umbrellas, and to reenact the episode of Doddacharya, because the Lord goes to Sholingapuram and comes back. So this is Doddacharya. This is the relief of Doddacharya worshipping Lord Narsimha at Sholingapuram, and this is a painting of Doddacharya having the darshana of the Garuda Seva. And this is the photograph where the umbrella is lowered during Garuda Seva. This kshetra is also associated with this very important anecdote of Gajendra Moksha. And it is the Attigiri is also Hastigiri, and it is said that the Lord bestowed this boon on Gajendra, and probably because of this Dikshitar remembers, and in his composition he says Dviradaraja Paripalana. In this composition on Varadaraja in the Raga Ganga Tarangini, he makes a very subtle mention of this episode, and you find this is again Gajendra Moksham from the walls of Varadaraja Perumal, and Next, we will present composition of Shri Muthuswami Dikshitar in the raga Ganga Tarangini. Ganga Tarangini is equivalent to the Gangeya Bhushani of the Melakarta scale. In the Dikshitar school, it is called the Raganga Raga is Ganga Tarangini. And you must look at the choice of the words and how the prasa. And it's a very small composition. And the reference to the Gajendra Moksha episode as well. Varadaraja Avava Indiraga Ganga Tarangini.
Varadaraja Vava Vanchitadhika Phala Pradavaradaraja Varadaraja Vava Vanchitadhika Phala Pradavaradaraja Viradaraja Paripalana Vijadyamara Pariposhana Viradaraja Paripalana Vijadyamara Pariposhana Garuda Turanga Sanga Ganga Taranga Dayapanga Guru Guhantaranga Bhujanga Bharitanga Shriranga Garuda Turanga Sanga Ganga Taranga Dayapanga Guru Guhantaranga Bhujanga Bharitanga Shriranga Garuda Turanga Sanga Ganga Taranga Dayapanga Guru Guhantaranga Bhujanga Bharitanga Shriranga Maririsa Maririsa Sada Padama Gagama Maririsa Risani Pasani Da Padani Sari Sari Gamariga Marisa Pama Padama Gama Padanisa Riga Marisa Sani Padama Gamarisa Ida Padama Gavarada Raja Vava Vanchitadhika Phala Pradavaradaraja
Amongst the many offerings to Varadaraja, this offering is a very interesting offering. It's called the Clive Makarakanti offering to Varadaraja Perumal. This jewel was offered in token of gratitude by Robert Clive, because at Kanchipuram, it is said that he beseeched the Lord for his blessings to win over the French army, and he made this offering. Another anecdote is also that when he was not doing good with his health, it was due to the Lord's grace that he regained his good health, and thus he offered this Makarakanti to Lord Varadaraja. And historian V. Sriram says that it's mentioned that Robert Clive was the governor of Madras, but he says that Robert Clive was never the governor. It was Edward Clive, his son, who became the governor. So probably he also offered some offerings to Varadaraja. Nevertheless, it's called the Clive Makarakanti to Varadaraja. And From Kanchipuram, we fly off to the banks of the Kaveri. This Kaveri is at Thiruvayyaru, where she caresses both banks, and Tyagaraja Swami in his beautiful composition in Asaveri describes the beauty of Kaveri so beautifully in the composition Sari Vedalina. And this is Thiruvayyaru is the kshetra of Panchanadishwarar or Ayyarappar and Dharma Samvardhani or Aram Valartha Nayaki. And this is again a very ancient kshetra sung by all the Tevaram saints. It is said that Appar had the vision of Kailasa here, and the Lord is the Lord of 5 rivers, the 5 tributaries of the Kaveri. And this is Panchanadisha's Gopuram here, and this is the Panchanadisha's Prakaram. And again, you have the contribution of all the Cholas, of the Vijayanagaras, the Marathas to this temple. And this Panchanadishwara temple has 2 sections. One is called the Dakshina Kailasa and the other is called the Uttara Kailasa. The Uttara Kailasa section was supposed to be built or renovated and built by Rajaraja Chola's wife, and the Dakshina Kailasa was supposed to be renovated by his daughter-in-law. And in the wonderful prakara of Panchanadishwara, we have compositions by Tyagaraja Swami to Panchanadisha. These are all the wonderful prakara of Panchanadisha, and these are all the mural paintings that you see on the walls of the Panchanadishwara temple. Such beautiful paintings, such beautiful colors. You won't get these colors now, you won't get this art anymore. And it's so, the painting is gorgeous, but the extraneous things are so disheartening. It's okay. We will always look at the best. And these are all, MS Kenterla, Yelna Mahan Terilavar. These are all the mural paintings on the Panchanadishwara walls. See the wall, like the whole corridor, you have such beautiful paintings. The Nalvar along with Parvati Parameshwara there up there. And this is the Pallak. This is the Saptasthana Pallak. This is very special palanquin because this kshetra is part of the 7 Saptasthana kshetras. And here the Lord gets Nandi married, and he conducts the marriage of Nandi, and he also goes in procession with Nandi and his wife in this Pallak to 7 kshetras. And this from all the 7 kshetrams, these Pallak, these glass beautiful Pallak, they all congregate in Tellai Sthanam, and a Purcharial happens. Everybody, they adorn the Lord with flowers, and it happens in the peak of summer in April, and all of the Pallak, all of them go back, all of them return to their respective shrines. And this is the Saptasthana Pallak. The Saptasthana festival is very famous in Thiruvayyaru, and Tyagaraja also talks about that in the Kriti Muchata Brahmadulaku in the Raga Madhyamavati. And this